is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the high-sounding rhetoric of politicians trying to convince the voting public that they are the ones, or at least their political party is the one, which can lead the country out of the recession. Capitol Hill in the midst of a political campaign. Democrats saying tax fairness for the middle class. Republicans saying don't bust the budget, create jobs. The Democrats and the president were both trying to get their plans approved by the House of Representatives, where there are more Democrats than Republicans. So you know which one passed. Here's ABC's Cokie Roberts.
The debate sounded like a campaign rehearsal as both parties pushed their themes. Democrats attacked the Republican proposal as a windfall for the wealthy, while defending their plan as a boon for the middle class.
It will help make a car payment or buy a month's groceries or a new washing machine or pay on a student loan. These things are not trivial.
Republicans responded that the Democrats were back at their old tax and spend game.
The central tenet of the Democrats' economic plan seems to be tax the rich, bust the budget, raise the deficit, beat the president.
The Democratic plan calls for temporary cuts of up to $400 a year for middle-income taxpayers. It would also raise rates on higher-income payers and create a SURTAX on millionaires. The Republican version would have lowered the capital gains tax, provided tax relief for the real estate industry and incentives for business investment, plus a $5,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers. Only a few members would say publicly what many said privately, that neither plan would do much for the economy.
The people we represent deserve better than either of these alternatives.
Democrats hope President Bush follows through on his promise to veto their plan so they can accuse him of blocking a middle-class tax cut. Republicans hope the plan gets bogged down in the Senate so the president can blame Congress for failing to act on his recovery plan. Cokie Roberts, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
No need to wait. Mr. Bush is already on the attack with the president in San Antonio, Texas today. Here's ABC's Britt Hume.
The president was in the final stages of his two-day meeting with Latin American leaders as the House vote occurred. But he'd heard all about it by the time he appeared at the closing news conference.
I would just ask the United States Senate now to correct the tax and spend policies of the House of Representatives that went in almost on straight party lines. It was predictable, sad. A sorry performance.
The president said he didn't think the Senate would pass the House bill, but made clear what would happen if it did.
I am not going to sign a bill like the one that came out of the House. It won't become law. I won't sign it.
A veto is exactly what Mr. Bush's Republican challenger, Pat Buchanan, recommended today while campaigning in Georgia. But Buchanan also cited today's vote as reason to veto Mr. Bush's renomination.
But you need a strong president and you need a strong, defined program if you're going to override the Congress of the United States. And we didn't have either.
The president fared slightly better with his foreign colleagues at this drug summit, but only slightly. The leaders pledged stronger efforts against narcotics, but balked at a U.S.-supported plan to set specific goals and dates for ending the drug trade. Several leaders also complained the U.S. is not putting up enough money to help them. As usual, the president seemed to get along famously with his fellow heads of state, even as they were resisting what the U.S. wanted to do. The president also gets along famously with members of the House. But there, as here, it seems, friendship is one thing, votes another. Britt Hume, ABC News, San Antonio.
Meanwhile, the political campaign...